What's up, everybody? It's the Warrior of Light, Alamir, and this is just going to be a quick video showing you the two Chocobo races that we're going to be doing on Quality Plays Fight Nights with the Chocobo race. So first off, it would be best if everybody dropped right here, where this Chocobo stop is, located on the map. There are a couple more in this area that you could also drop to if you couldn't reach this one, but in the helicopter you could pretty much reach everywhere. But just in case, there's also one right here. There's also one right here. That one might even be better, honestly. And if you can't reach there, there is one right there, and there's one right there as well. There's quite a few. So everybody's going to grab their Chocobo, and we need to get up here, on top of the plate. Now there is a teleport over here somewhere that can get you up there. It's also possible to jump up there. Like that. That might be a little too difficult for some people, but I believe there is a teleport down there somewhere that can actually get you on the field. And here, I'll show you where it is, so everybody can find it as fast as possible and get up here. Boom. It's right here on the map. So you can see it's this second building right here. You can get that teleport and just pop right up on top. Or you can be fancy and jump up there the way I did off the billboard. Either way, you're going to come all the way over here as fast as you can. And behind these barricades is where we're going to start the race. Okay? And now, the race course is going to be all the way to here, staying on the highway. So, super simple. There's not a whole lot of obstacles on this one, as it's just the qualifier. This one will be a good race course to determine which Chocobos have some of the best stats, because it doesn't really require a whole lot of brain power to see, well, who's taking the better route, who's doing a good job of avoiding obstacles. It's kind of a wide open straight shot all the way to the other side. You do have to kind of stay away from other Chocobos, because if you bump into them while sprinting, then you can kind of mess yourself up and restart your Chocobo's run. So that will take a little bit of strategy. But for the most part, this is a great race course to see, alright, which Chocobos have the best speed and stamina stats. And of course, trying to keep your Chocobo straight can also help, which is a little easier on controller. All the vehicles in this game are a little bit easier to manage with the controller, as opposed to using the touch buttons. Especially because I have to touch right where the dang movement button is. My joystick to move, my sprint button is right above it. On controller, it's a little easier because it's actually just a completely separate button. So you'll keep going along this route. Oops, ran out of stamina again. See, that's another thing you got to pay attention to. Because if your stamina runs out and you're just holding that button, your Chocobo will stop. Again, it's easier on controller because you're not having to press not both your buttons on this or on the same thumb. So as you can see, super easy. No obstacles. There's a couple obstacles to like run around, but it would not be a good idea to jump over something like this, because that's just going to waste stamina. And it'll be the first Chocobo to cross these barriers will be the winner. Boom. Super simple. Barrier to barrier. From the north side to the south side, it's a straight shot. Alright? Alright, for the second heat of the race, everybody will bring their Chocobos in this little, almost like bullpen, inside Sector 1 station. So there are some Chocobo stops over here that you can grab as well. Some of the closest ones being this one right here. There's also another one right here. And another one right here. Those are probably the closest. Anyways, you're going to grab your Chocobos. You're going to come inside this little bullpen looking thing. And the goal is just going to be to go from Sector 1 station to Sector 7 through 6 Annex. So when Quality calls it, you will just need to get out of this little bullpen either way you want. You can exit that way. You can exit out through the north. This way. Doesn't matter, you can try to jump over the wall. Wouldn't suggest that. But you just need to get there as fast as possible. This one will require a little bit of intelligence on part of the racer, and it's not just all about Chocobo stats. I'm gonna have to avoid some of the mobs because they're kind of pestering me right now. My Chocobo's almost dead as I've been trying to plan out these race courses. But yeah, so you could get on the highway for a little bit, but for the most part, you're gonna want to try to get straight over to Sector 7 through 6 Annex. And so the racers are going to have to, on the fly most likely, because not all of them will have watched this video, they'll just listen to Quality's explanation, aren't going to be familiar with the route. But it's a straight shot, just a lot of obstacles to jump over, and it's going to be a nice short race though. Some people that, if they actually spend the time and plan this out, might be able to actually win this qualifier. So yeah, a lot of jumping. Might be smart to save your stamina on this one. And we're going to say the race ends when everybody gets on this platform. Or the first one on this platform right here in Sector 7 Annex.
Let's go to that point.
So you can mark it before the race starts. It'll be to this little platform right here. The winner's platform. Alright? So those are the two qualifiers on plate side. Now, let's switch over to the Undercity, and I'll show you that map. Alright, now for the final race, after the two qualifiers, and we're moving into the final race, you are going to grab your Chocobo and head to this location where there are the two large walls or barriers right here. These things remind me of Afghanistan and the little walls they built for like the mortars and stuff. But anyways, there are a couple Chocobo stops. Let's see, I think there's one like right here. There's a couple right here, here. They're all over the place. There's one right here somewhere. There's one right here. There's one right here. If you need to get a map that shows the Chocobo locations to get yours as fast as you can do that. We're all going to line up in between these two pillars. When he calls it, you're going to begin running down this road headed north. Okay? And you're just going to follow this road. And so this race will also be a good determiner of which Chocobos have just the plain best stats. It will take a little bit of intelligence on the part of the rider, but for the most part, this is going to be based solely on speed and stamina. And a little bit longer of a race. But pretty simple. Just need to stay on the road. Don't take these dirt paths that lead off into different directions. Just stay on the concrete road. Get a sprint going again. My phone's hot today. Oh, hasn't been heating up lately, but it is now. Oh, dropped out of stamina. Another thing you got to pay attention for. You're just stuck there for a second, not moving. And again, that's where being a touch player is a little bit more of a challenge. So continue following this paved path all the way around. As you can see, it loops underneath Sector 5 Undercity and comes back down to Entertainment City. Just the east side of the Entertainment City. Definitely a little bit longer than the one on plate side, But then again, this map is a little bit bigger. And what's nice about this route is there are no Chocobo stops along the way. So there's no like getting off the Chocobo and recalling it. That will definitely not be to your advantage in this race. There's also not a lot of barriers that people can get stuck up on. There is something like this pole. Don't run into the pole because Chocobos get stuck on stuff like that sometimes. And you're just stuck running in place for a minute. And I wish we could turn off the hazard zone, because then we could probably make this a 2-lap race to where everybody has to do this route more than once. But I think one time will be enough time for the hazard zone to kind of come in on all of us to start taking out birds. I'll leave that up to Koala. If he wants to do 2 laps around this race course, then that's on him. But as you can see, one is even pretty long. This is about the distance of 2 of those races I showed you earlier up on the plate side. But super simple, no obstacles really. Just gotta stay on the road. Gotta manage your stamina well. Really gotta watch that bar for when it drops to almost 0. There was actually a roadway back there. I think that's the only roadway you have to worry about. You can pretty much stay on this road the whole time and not have to worry about it. I thought this roadway would be a perfect course for the Chocobo race because it's super simple. There's no confusion. Like the other one I did, people were asking about the mountains or Corneos. Like it's super easy. Just stay on this course. It's almost like it was made for this. No obstacles you can get stuck on. No mobs to shoot you, so it's perfect in that sense too. Even if we were going to allow bots to make it so the hazard zone crept in a little bit slower, we could do that, and it would, you know, you wouldn't have to worry about at least monsters shooting you off your Chocobo. So 1 lap around, and as soon as you get past the barrier, boom, that's the end of the race. And those will be the first winners. Now, if Koala thinks we could do 2 laps around this, that's fine to extend the race, but this is already a lot longer, in my opinion, just having done all 3 of these. It's a lot longer than the other 2 courses. So, and I like this one and the first one, the first race that I did, where it really is all about the Chocobo stats, their speed, their stamina, and it really won't affect your intelligence as a rider too much, won't come into play, as there's not a whole lot of obstacles. People can't really plan this route out and find some advantages. The second heat, yes, people can race it on their own and find some advantages to win over other people that haven't seen the video. But for the most part, if you're just coming in on Friday, you should be able to pop into these races, and if you have a good Chocobo, you should be able to stand a chance without having watched anything previously. So that's it. Those are the 3 routes we'll do for the quality play. I'll be there with him. I'll be giving some commentary live, and I'm excited about that. Chocobo racing was a big part of the original game. It's one of the best mini games in the Final Fantasy series. I don't know if I'd say the best, but it's one of the best. So it's cool that they implemented Chocobo breeding in this game and feeding them greens and breeding them just like you did in the original. And while we don't have any official races like the original game, we do have some fan-made races like I've done, like Morbid Fates has done, and now MrKoala is doing some as well, which I'm excited about. So I look forward to seeing everybody on MrKoala's Let's Play, or I'm sorry, Quality Fight Nights. Let's see. And I gotta pull up a calendar here just to make sure I got the date right. Calendar. Well, I guess I could look at MrKoala's, he made a flyer for this. If you go to the official Discord in the fan art section and scroll up past all my memes, sorry about those guys, but it's the Chocobo Race Night will be July 22nd, 8 p.m. EST. 8 p.m. EST. So make sure you jump in. He does have some prizes. He sent me the pictures. They're actually really cool. I wish I could win one myself. They're really cool prizes, so definitely jump into that and check that out. Thank you guys for watching.